It was May of 2024 when I turned 65 and officially entered into senior citizenship. And one is never too old to enjoy the beauty of northern Minnesota, so a birthday trip to Minnesota's north shore of Lake Superior seemed to be in order. So off we went on a trip up north, as we like to say. We were going to do some hiking, gaze at Big Gitche Gumee, find a few waterfalls, and just generally enjoy the scenery and splendor of this magnificent part of Minnesota. Well past Duluth, it wasn't long before we were taking our first hike along the Caribou River to charming Caribou Falls. Continuing up the North Shore, we made our way to Grand Marais and enjoyed some exploration of this harbor town. This included a sunset drive along the Gunflint Trail and a hike out to the harbor's lighthouse. The day ended finding us back at a familiar spot from a few years earlier, Cascade Lodge. Here we got in one more hike along Cascade Lodge's creek. And the night concluded with a stay at a cozy and quaint cabin. The next day we continued up the shore to Grand Portage National Monument, where we would learn the history of the fur trade that once took place at this fort, located in what is now a far-flung corner of Minnesota. After the fort, nearby Mount Rose was our next hike. Upon reaching the top, we were pleased to take in a stunning view of the fort down below and of Lake Superior far beyond. Before we turned back south, there was one more highlight that awaited us. At Grand Portage State Park, right on the border between the United States and Canada, we experienced the thundering majesty of Pigeon Falls, the highest waterfall in Minnesota. Leaving Pigeon Falls behind, we headed back down the shore to see a bit more of Grand Marais. Once there, we did some lakeside relaxing and were treated to a spectacular rainbow. After one more night at Cascade Lodge, we started our next day with breakfast at their restaurant and a beautiful lakeside view. After we watched a show from the restaurant's resident hummingbirds, we were off towards Duluth for more Superior sightseeing. One of our first stops was at a scenic shore spot where a cross had been erected in the 1800s by a Father Frederick Baraga. And just up the hill from this monument is Cross River Falls, one of my personal North Shore favorites. Later, we were able to experience Ilgen Falls near Finland, Minnesota, and the sweeping views from Palisade Head. Next was perhaps the most iconic site in all of Minnesota, Split Rock Lighthouse. Another waterfall stop was in store at Gooseberry Falls State Park. Here, one can encounter these falls over several scenic cascades. After seeing more of Superior from Silver Creek Cliff and a delicious snack at the famous Betty's Pies, we made it to Duluth and the South Pier Inn, where the world-famous lift bridge could be seen right from our hotel window. As the day ended, we watched the ship Arthur M. Anderson come into port. The Arthur M. Anderson is known as the last ship to see the Edmund Fitzgerald before she sank in Superior in November of 1975. On the last day of our trip, our final adventure was a tour on the water aboard the Vista Star. As the harbor opened its gate to us, we were excited to see the city of Duluth in a new way. Soon our boat returned to port, our extended weekend was over, and it was time to go home. But once again, Minnesota's north shore of Lake Superior did not disappoint. We had celebrated my 65th birthday with several scenic days and had many fun moments that will be long remembered.